Hi, guys. Good afternoon, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I would like to do a video that I had yet to do. And even though this came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wanted to give you guys my episode review. I know I'm a little late on this, and I do apologize for those of you waiting for this episode review. But I'd like to welcome you to another episode review of the Hulu show Into the Dark. Their latest episode was, of course, themed to New Year's Eve and Day, since that was the last big holiday that we had. And it came out actually at the end of December and not closer after New Year's Day. And it usually comes out the first Friday of every month. And I thought that would be January, but I guess it made more sense to have it come out before New Year's Eve or something like that. Anyway, it came out a few weeks ago. I just got done watching it, and I wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on the review. So if you have not seen the latest episode of Into the Dark called New Year, New You, and you want to, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Spoilers from here on out starting now. I rather liked it. I rather liked this episode, and for a while there, it had some entertaining moments, and then it had some good tense scenes, like scenes filled with tension and resentment. Like you can just feel this jealousy and resentment between our characters, or at least especially between our two lead characters, Alexis and then Danielle. So you could really feel that between them, like something happened between these two former friends, and then everything just came to a head. But before I get to that, I think what I enjoyed, the thing that I enjoyed most about this episode was the ending, because it kind of caught me off guard. Because what I realized is that, all right, I get it. Alexis is angry with the fact that her friend Danielle has gotten away with not necessarily murder, but she was directly responsible for the death of a former friend of theirs, a girl whom Danielle had tormented and bullied practically to death, at least to a point where this poor girl threw herself out of the house that they were living in at the time, and she killed herself. And I guess Alexis got tired of sitting on that for years and years, and obviously grew resentful and jealous of Danielle's success and disgusted at the hypocrisy of it, which was, you're basically like a self-help guru, or you're Miss Positivity, and you act like you're a good person helping all these people and helping all these young girls and whatnot, yet you're a deranged, murderous psychopath who just takes advantage of people. And in the end, towards the end of the story, that's what, Danielle ended up proving to be. I think she threw or grabbed Chloe and pushed her in front of her when Alexis swung at her with the golf club. But the thing that I realized at the very end with the final end scene, because the end scene was similar to the opening scene, where another internet host was a host of another internet show was interviewing someone else. It wasn't Danielle, because obviously Danielle was dead, but it was now Alexis. And Alexis had basically just taken over what Danielle used to do. And then she twisted the events of the story about how everything that happened was the result of a violent, bloody love triangle or lover's quarrel. So she just twisted all the facts and the evidence to suit her story, and now she had basically become what she had hated Danielle for. And I realized, so this wasn't about Alexis trying to be the morally upstanding good person and trying to right a horrible wrong. She was just suffering from petty jealousy and extreme resentment and frustration. And even during their final confrontation, as she's wrestling around with Danielle right before she pushes her out the window, she says, "It should have been me! It should have been me!" Like she deserved to have all the internet fame and glory and riches that Danielle had. And now with Danielle finally out of the picture, she could have all that. So it's like, in a way, justice is kind of served with Danielle's death now, because she finally answered for the death of the young woman that she had tormented and driven to suicide. But now it's like, well, Alexis isn't any better. She just twisted all the facts of a horrible scene of carnage at the expense of her former friends' lives and whatnot, and this other innocent woman who was the girlfriend of one of her friends. And now she's the big internet star, and she's a huge phony. And now she's going to have 1 million followers and make a lot of money as well. So the whole story was kind of like what goes around like a really twisted take of what goes around comes around, you know. So the ending scene was very amusing, and it's probably the one thing I did like about it, because it's like, did anybody really win here? Our main character basically just showed us that she was no better than the nasty girl that she was trying to defeat and destroy and ruin her life. And now she's lost. And now she's lost 2 other friends, and then another innocent woman was brutally murdered, really for no reason. And it was also an interesting story, or it was an interesting reminder about how when people get together over the holidays, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's Eve or a Ramadan, anything around December, January, old tensions and resentments can always come to the surface, and they could always come out in the worst way imaginable. Obviously, this is a horror TV show, and this was a pretty extreme example, but I felt like the metaphor or the symbolism was there. It's like during the holidays when old friends or family members get together, old tensions and resentments can come to the surface, and it could lead to a pretty uncomfortable or awful scenario. Now, like I said, in this case, it was pretty extreme because this is a horror TV show, but yeah, I think you see what I mean. Well, overall, I liked it. Not my favorite episode, but it was entertaining. It definitely had some tense moments there. I really applaud the actresses who, in the more intimate scenes when they're supposed to be having drinking games and goofing around and reminiscing, like the tension, you could really feel while you were watching it. You could feel the tension and the resentment between all 4 girls, or at least the 2 main girls, Danielle and Alexis. Like those actresses, everybody did a great job, but those 2 actresses really nailed it on when the director told them, all right, there's a tense, resentful scene, feel about each other that way. And they did. So I liked it. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm sure the next episode is probably going to air the first Friday of February, and it's most likely going to be Valentine's Day themed. So stick around for that review as well next month. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Don't forget to subscribe for more episode reviews like this one, and check out my playlist of my previous Into the Dark episode reviews. I think you'll find it quite interesting. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Thanks again for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.